Thousands of people in the 90s swear they watched Shazam, the movie about a goofy genie, but wait, it never actually existed. And this, my friends, is the Mandela effect. Some even believe when we moved from the Julian to the Gregorian calendars, years went missing, and our memories were intentionally rewired. What if your favorite 90s TV shows weren't just entertaining you, but quietly messing with your mind? What if the things you swore were true never actually happened? Remember the Berenstain Bears? That lovable bear family from our childhood? Many people recall their name being spelled as Berenstein with an E, but surprise, it's actually spelled Berenstain with an A. This mix-up has puzzled a lot of us. Some of us are so sure they remember Berenstein that they might think it was proof of a parallel universe or time travel. Even the son of the creators, Mike Berenstain, mentioned that his confusion has been around since his dad was a kid. So why do so many of us remember it wrong? One idea is that names ending in "steen" were more common back then, so our brains just assumed that spelling. Plus, when we heard the name spoken, it sounded like Berenstain, which added to the mix-up. Interestingly, some people claim they've seen old books or merchandise with the Berenstein spelling, but when they check now, it all says Berenstain. Isn't it funny how a small detail like a letter can make us all question our memories? What other childhood memories might not actually be as we remember them? Looney Tunes or Tunes? Looney Tunes as a response to Disney's Silly Symphonies, which were all about music. Looney Tunes was a response to Disney's Silly Symphonies, which were all about music. The early cartoons had a lot of musical numbers, so tunes made sense back then. But as time went on, it became more about Bugs Bunny messing with Elmer Fudd, and the music connection kind of faded. The name got stuck. Some fans are absolutely convinced that it was Tunes. They say they remember seeing it spelled that way, even on old VHS tapes. Parallel universe? Mandela effect? Or maybe our brains just assumed it was Tunes because it seemed logical. Kinda trippy stuff. Makes you wonder, if we got this detail wrong, what else could we be misremembering? Could there be more loony surprises hiding in our favorite childhood TV shows? The Simpsons. The show with the yellow family that's been on TV since forever. Bart Simpson's chalkboard gags have sparked some wild debates. You know how each episode starts with Bart writing something on the chalkboard? Some fans swear they've seen him write specific phrases that, when they go back and check, don't exist in any episode. It's as if all those lines vanished into thin air. With a show as long-running as The Simpsons, it's no wonder these memory mix-ups happen. Over the years, Bart's written hundreds of chalkboard lines, from "I will not waste chalk" to "I will not skateboard in the halls." But those elusive phrases, nowhere to be found. Did our brains just fill in the blanks, or is there something more mysterious at play here? Could there be more moments from our favorite TV shows that we remember completely differently? The X-Files. A show that had us questioning everything, from aliens, government conspiracies, and even our own memories. The tagline, "The truth is out there," became iconic. Understandably so. But here's where things get strange. Some fans insist it was "the truth is out there somewhere." It fits the mysterious vibe of the show, but if we go back and watch any episode, the word "somewhere" is nowhere to be found. It's always just been "the truth is out there." So why do so many people remember it differently? Well, here's a fun twist. The X-Files occasionally changed its tagline for certain episodes. In Trust No One, it was, well, trust no one. In another episode, it read, deny everything. These swaps were deliberate and tied to specific story arcs. Could this have muddled our memories over time? Or could this be another case for the Mandela effect creeping into our favorite sci-fi series? Fans even argue that they've seen reruns with alternate taglines claiming these mysterious edits popped up in later broadcasts. But there's no concrete proof, just hazy memories and heated online debates. Boy Meets World. Topanga Lawrence. Just saying her name brings back a flood of 90s nostalgia, doesn't it? But here's a curveball. Some die-hard Boy Meets World fans are convinced that in the early episodes, Topanga had a different first name. They argue passionately on forums, recalling scenes where she was called something else. However, if you rewatch those episodes, you'll find that she's always been Topanga. The show's creators chose this unique name, inspired by Topanga Canyon in California, to reflect her free-spirited hippie persona. So where does this collective misremembering come from? It's possible that the show's occasional continuity errors contribute to the confusion. For instance, Topanga's parents are referred to by different names throughout the entire series. Memory is a funny thing, especially when it comes to the beloved TV shows from our childhood. Sailor Moon. Tuxedo Mask, the charming cape-wearing guy we all adored in Sailor Moon. Some fans are absolutely convinced there's an episode where he dies and stays dead forever, but that never actually happened. Sure, there were plenty of times when Tuxedo Mask was on the verge of death, like in the epic Doomtree arc where we were all holding our breath, but each time he miraculously came back, like the true hero he is. So why do so many people swear he met his permanent end? Maybe it's because those near-death scenes were just so intense they tricked our minds into thinking he was gone for good. It's honestly wild how many fans are still debating this. And let's dig deeper and see what other 90s mysteries we might unravel. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The catchy beats, Will Smith rapping about how he ended up in Bel-Air, and of course the famous line, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. But wait, hold up. Did he say that? Because apparently a lot of fans remember it differently. Some people say he said, and shooting some b-ball outside of the playground, or and shooting some b-ball outside of the park. But wait a minute, where did these variations come from? It's all about that catchy beat, right? Fans got the lyrics stuck in their heads so deeply that over time, their memories began to twist things around. And let's be honest, it's easy to think you're right when everyone around you seems to remember the same thing. But if we can't trust the lyrics of a TV theme song, what else from the show do we remember differently or incorrectly? Maybe there are other TV shows with misremembered theme songs. Who knows what other gems are hiding in these catchy tunes? Rugrats. Do you remember Rugrats? The quirky babies, the epic adventures, and Chucky, our favorite awkward, paranoid redhead. But here's the real question. What color was Chucky's shirt? Was it green or red? Now, fans have been going back and forth on this one for ages. Some say Chucky wore a green shirt while others are absolutely convinced it was red. And we're not just talking about one or two confused people, there's an entire debate going on. You'll see it in toys, merchandise, and even a few episodes of the show where the color seems to switch up. What's even more bizarre is that some of the show's early promo materials shows Chucky in a red shirt, but in later episodes, it's absolutely green. So which one's the real Chucky? Was it a mistake or a possible design change midway through? The Magic School Bus. Who didn't love the zany adventures with Miss Frizzle and her class? The magic bus would shrink to microscopic size, dive into the human body, or travel to outer space, all while teaching us things we never knew we needed to know. But there's one part of the show that's left fans scratching their heads for years. Miss Frizzle's famous catchphrase, "Take chances, make mistakes, get messy." Now, you'd think a line like that would be cemented into our memories, right? But apparently, that's not the case. Fans across the world are convinced that Miss Frizzle said something completely different. Some remember her saying, "Take risks, make mistakes, get messy," while others think she said, "Take chances, make mistakes, have fun." That last one is a bit of a curveball. Fun? Sure, it fits, but it's not really how Miss Frizzle would have said it. Maybe, maybe not. The truth is, no one seems to really know for sure. Some believe that maybe in an alternate seasons and episodes, she said the phrase differently, but perhaps it's a result of reruns or different dubs from other countries. After all, we're talking about a show that spanned over many years, and we know how things can get altered over time. Could it be that the mind just plays tricks on us as we grow older? Or maybe we've all heard some similar motivational sayings over the years, and maybe got those mixed up instead. Friends. Who doesn't remember that iconic Friends scene where Ross is yelling "pivot" while trying to move a couch up a narrow staircase with Chandler and Rachel? It's one of the most quoted moments from the show, and honestly, it's hilarious every time. But here's where things get a little wobbly. Some fans are convinced that during the chaotic scene, the couch actually broke when Ross screamed "pivot." They remember it vividly, like they can hear the cracking sound and see the poor couch falling apart under the weight of the situation. But hold on. When you go back and watch the scene, nothing actually happens to the couch. It's still in one piece the entire time. So where did this memory of the couch breaking come from? Did the couch secretly break in some lost footage? Or was it just that in the chaos of the moment, people might have felt like it had broken? It's funny how a small, seemingly insignificant detail has become the center of a Friends fan debate. Was it always about the couch not breaking, or did we all just want it to break because the whole scene was just so ridiculous? It's almost as if the memory of the couch breaking is so vivid because we expected it to actually happen, given how insane the situation was. Now, here's where the real mystery lies. Were there other famous moments that didn't go down the way that we thought they did? Power Rangers. Now let's talk about the Power Rangers, shall we? Specifically, the one and only Kimber Ann Hart, the original Pink Ranger. She was an absolute icon in the 90s with her acrobatic skills, bubblegum pink outfit, and her role as the go-to girl who could kick butt with the best of them. But wait, there's a huge mess. Fans can't agree on the shade of pink of her costume. Was it light pink, or was it a darker, more vibrant pink? Some viewers remember Kimberly in a super soft pastel pink suit, while others swear she rocked a deeper, more intense pink. It's one of those things that seems so obvious to fans, yet when we go back and rewatch the show, the color doesn't quite match everyone's memory. It's a classic case of people remembering something differently despite seeing the same thing. But wait, there's actually more. Some Power Rangers fans also recall an alternate morphing sequence for Kimberly. You know the iconic transformation scene where the Rangers yell, "It's morphin' time," and undergo the epic costume changes. Well, certain fans insist that Kimberly had a different transformation sequence or even a special effect that never actually made it into the final show. Perhaps it was a glitch in the Matrix or an alternate reality, who's to know? But these alternate sequences live in the minds of some viewers as if they actually happened. It's funny how a single thing like the color of a costume or a morphing sequence can spark such intense debates among fans. The Power Rangers franchise has a loyal following and people remember the smallest details vividly. But when the details don't line up with what's actually going on the screen, it gets you thinking, were those morphing sequences real, or is something funky going on? Pokemon. The franchise is still going strong today, even after all these years. But there's one thing that's been bugging Pokemon fans for decades: Pikachu's tail. You know, the yellow electric mouse we all know and love, right? Well, many fans swear that Pikachu's tail used to have a black tip. It's an image burned into their memories. You can picture it now, Pikachu standing there with his signature yellow body and that black tipped tail, right? But that's never actually been the case. Pikachu's tail has always been a solid yellow, no black tip whatsoever. Still, many fans insist that they remember it differently, so what gives? Well, here's one thing. There are many theories about why people might remember Pikachu's tail differently. One idea is that early Pokemon merchandise like plush toys and action figures might have mistakenly depicted the tail with a black tip, and that's where fans' memories got distorted. Another theory points to the animation process itself. Perhaps early animation frames or some promotional material made it seem like Pikachu's tail had a black tip. Maybe the color was just a slight mix-up that stuck with people. But no matter how you slice it, Pikachu's tail has always been plain yellow on the screen. What's even more interesting is that if Pikachu's tail is the source of this Mandela effect, what else from the Pokemon universe might we have gotten wrong? Could there have been other Pokemon design changes that we've completely misremembered? Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell, the perfect 90s high school sitcom that we all grew up watching. Saved by the Bell was the perfect 90s high school sitcom that we all grew up watching. But here's the thing. A lot of Saved by the Bell fans remember an episode that never actually aired. Fans vividly recall the storyline where Zack's band, Zack Attack, broke up due to some dramatic backstage drama. There was an entire emotional saga, misunderstandings, fights, and a dramatic reconciliation. Sounds like the perfect 90s TV show moment, right? But that episode never actually existed. There's no trace of a Zack Attack breakup episode anywhere in the series, not in any seasons or even reruns. But if that's the case, where did this memory come from? Why do so many fans remember it so clearly? It's possible that this episode felt like it should have happened. After all, the Zack Attack storyline had its fair share of ups and downs. Perhaps people wanted to see more drama from the band, and their minds filled the gaps for what seemed like the perfect fitting plot. The weird part, the whole thing is so vivid to fans that it's still a topic of discussion in Saved by the Bell fan circles today. Some even argue that there was a version of the episode that was lost in the archives or never made it to syndication. But if you dig deep enough, there's no evidence to ever support it. So what else about Saved by the Bell might we have gotten wrong? Were there other iconic episodes that never actually happened, or was this just one giant 90s fever dream? Flintstones. The prehistoric family made us laugh, even though they lived in a world of dinosaurs and rock-solid technology. It's a show that shaped many of our childhoods with classic characters that were just as iconic as the show itself. But here's something odd about this beloved classic. Is it the Flintstones or the Flintstones? You've probably seen the title a million times, and in your mind it's probably Flintstones with the classic T. But a surprising number of fans remember that the T was never there. They remember the title is Flintstones, just a simple Flinstones without the extra T in the middle. This problem is more common than you would think, and people have been debating it for years. Why did this happen? Some fans argue that the logo itself might have been designed in a way that made it look like the T might have been silent, or even left it out entirely. Some also think that early versions of merchandise, cartoons, or promotional material might have mistakenly dropped the T, leading to collective misremembering. Whatever the case, the debate over whether it's Flintstones or Flintstones has become a perfect Mandela effect moment. Why are our childhood memories so persuaded about the incorrect spelling? Why do so many of us remember it one way even though that we've been shown a correct version over and over again? Is it just a simple slip up in our brains, or is there something bigger at play here? Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The calming voice of Fred Rogers, the man who taught us kindness, compassion, and how to tie our shoes. For years, we sang along to the theme song, right? It was like a warm hug every time we heard it. But here's the thing. Pretty much everyone remembers the lyrics to the iconic opening tune, right? The famous line, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But hold on. It's not actually in the neighborhood. The real line is, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." All those years of singing in the neighborhood were just wrong. The Mandela effect strikes again, and it's messing with one of the most wholesome songs in TV history. How could this be, though? Why do so many people have such a strong memory of the wrong lyrics? Could it be that we just felt like it should have been in the neighborhood because it sounds more natural? Or maybe it just fits better with the idea of Mr. Rogers walking around the neighborhood waving at everyone. The fact that everyone remembers it one way, yet the song seems to be different, raises all kinds of questions. Full House. Uncle Jesse's last name. Some fans remember it being Katsopoulos, the Greek last name we all come to know and love over the seasons. But here's where it gets wild. There's a group of fans who swear it was Cochran in the early episodes. According to these people, Uncle Jesse's last name wasn't always Katsopoulos from the get-go. They recall a time when the show introduced him as Jesse Cochran. Many hardcore Full House fans stand by this recollection, insisting that Cochran was there in the early seasons, only for it to magically change to Katsopoulos without any real explanation. What's going on here? Did the show just suddenly decide to change Uncle Jesse's last name midway through? No one seems to be able to find concrete evidence that Cochran was ever used in the first place. But what do you think? Do you remember these shows the same way? Let us know in the comments below. And if this got your adrenaline pumping, be sure to check out our other video on the unexpected twists of your favorite classics. Don't forget to like the channel and subscribe for more content just like this, and as always, thank you for watching.